So there's a fight that's kind of slipping under the radar for UFC 240, and I'm not okay with that. I don't like things slipping under the radar, so let me shine my radar upon it. It's Zabit Magomedsharipov, which I practiced before starting recording, versus Brian Ortega as the co-main event of UFC 240. I love this fight, first of all, before I get into my prediction. I love this because it's the same division as the main event of that card, which is Edgar versus Holloway. Okay, that's what I love about it. I love it, guys. I love it when that happens. When you've got the co-main event is in some way related to the main event in some kind of way. I don't like having a heavyweight fight as the main event and then Henry Cejudo fighting someone as the co-main event. You know what I'm saying? That just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like if you had DC versus Stipe as the main event and then Jones versus Santos as the co-main. That is so much more interesting. And I like the fact that they've done this. Now, into the prediction stage. Ortega's going to win. And here's why. Zabit's a beast. I'm not denying Zabit is a beast. I have bet against him against Brandon Davis. Okay, that was not the highlight of my YouTube career so far. I've bet against him with Jeremy Stephens. I was this close. Okay? I was one defense of a takedown away from winning that prediction. And it was a very close fight either way. Now, I'm picking against him again because I see the fucking weaknesses, guys. I see him. And I know you guys see him too. He ain't invincible, okay? He doesn't check leg kicks. Okay, he stands very heavy on his lead leg. Okay? He throws a lot of flashy stuff. A lot of them don't land. Okay? They lose the surprise factor of the flashiness because it's coming every 10 seconds. Okay? Wheel kicks are only effective if they come out of nowhere. But when you're throwing them as often as someone else would throw a jab, people start to get used to those wheel kicks. You know what I'm saying? And I think Ortega's going to be able to withstand this one. He's got an iron chin. Another thing, Zabit has outsized every single opponent he has come up against. Which is crazy to think because Stephens is a huge featherweight. But Zabit just cuts more weight than him because that's what the Dagestanis do. You know what I'm saying? But Ortega is a big guy. He matches Zabit in range. I think he's going to actually have a reach advantage because Ortega's got long fucking arms. Zabit is not going to be able to take Ortega down. Because if he does, I'm not saying Ortega's takedown defense is going to be too good. I'm saying if he does, that's the last place you want to be with Ortega. Okay? You do not want to be on the ground with Ortega and Zabit will not go for the takedown. That takedown has secured him many wins. The takedown of Zabit has secured him so many wins. Okay, it secured him around against Stephens when it come out of nowhere. It secured him around against Karl Bochniak, even though he lost a third. Arguably. I actually thought he won the third, but you know what? Oh well. You know what I'm saying? It secured him in the fight against Brandon Davis. The surprise takedown is always there. And I think Brian Ortega, you don't take Brian Ortega down and survive. You just don't. It's just, if you take Brian Ortega down in a fight, you're mentally challenged. Okay? So we'll see about that. Another factor that I'm going to bring up to you guys. Zabit Magomedsharipov fades in the third round. He does. Okay, if this was a 5-round fight, I'd have no question that Ortega was going to win. Okay? Zabit Magomedsharipov fades in the third round. And he fades hard. He just stops throwing punches. And that's it. Like, it comes into a point where you're 2 minutes into the third round. Zabit is moving backwards the entire fight and staring at the clock. And that is all he's doing. He's literally just there, staring at the clock, waiting for some kind of scramble where he can get a good takedown and secure the round and just ride out the decision. He fades in the third round. He's not going to be able to take Ortega down because that's where Ortega is most dangerous. And I think Ortega's going to catch him on the feet because there are holes in Zabit's game. And I think he's gotten this far purely because there's hype behind him and guys get a bit gun shy. He's faced subpar level fighters, let's be real. Jeremy Stephens, although he's a great featherweight and I picked him to win, he's not the best. And when you beat him by a close decision, that's not the best. You know what I'm saying? Especially at this stage in his career when he might be on the downward spiral again. We'll never know. And before that, who did Zabit beat? That's almost too good to be true. Who did Zabit beat before Jeremy Stephens? Answer me that fucking question. Someone. Brandon Davis, an unranked fighter. And on a week's notice. And he's now at bantamweight. Karl Bochniak, an unranked fighter. Okay? Yeah, he's strung together a few wins, but he hasn't fought anyone of talent other than Stevens, and that was a very close fight. So I'm going with Ortega here, boys. I think he's going to be able to out-jab Zabit. I think he's going to show so much improvements after the Holloway fight, and I'll tell you this. If Ortega went back out there for the 5th round against Holloway and got finished, or got beat up even worse, I would not be so confident in betting for him. I'll tell you that much. But seeing as he did not go out for that 5th round and he saved himself from that damage and he's waited a very good time off, which is very nice because I don't like when guys jump straight back in there. He's taken some time. He's evolved his game, I'm sure. And I think he's going to put the pressure on Zabit. Another factor with Zabit fading in the 3rd round. Brian Ortega is a fighter that is known for the 3rd round finish. You know, it was tough against Clay Guida. He finds the finish in the 3rd round. It was tough against Renato Moicano. He finds the finish in the 3rd round. You know what I'm saying? He gets shit done. There's another example that I'm forgetting. But he gets it done in the 3rd round. He does not let it go to a decision. And that's what I like about this fight. Zabit moves backwards. He needs space to create his techniques. And Brian Ortega, if you move backwards against him and not do what Holloway does, because Holloway kind of negated Ortega's game by moving forward and being the aggressor. Because Ortega's used to walking guys down as they sort of dart around the cage. And being the brute and coming forward. And forcing them to shoot a takedown out of panic where he gets the guillotine. And I think that Zabit is going to be moving backwards. Like he always does in the 3rd round. And Ortega's going to be strolling forwards. And putting the pressure on him. I'm looking for the finish in every second of that 3rd round. And I think he's going to be able to do what Kyle Bochniak did. Only better. I know that Zabit broke his hand in the Kyle Bochniak fight. It was a hairline fracture on this ring finger. This one. Am I holding up the right one? Yeah, the ring finger. It was a hairline fracture on the ring finger. Something like that. That's what I heard. Not the biggest of injuries, but an injury nevertheless. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But I still think that Ortega's going to be able to smother him, get on the inside, land those uppercuts, land those hooks with those long fucking arms, and put Zabit in worlds of trouble. And Zabit isn't going to be able to panic take him down. Not panic, but strategically take him down to get himself off of the fence. Because Zabit needs space to perform his techniques, and Ortega will take that space away. I will say this though. This is the best matchup for Zabit in the entire division. This is the best matchup for Zabit in the entire top 5 of the division. Volkanovski's a bad matchup for Zabit, in my opinion. Terrible matchup. He can't fight Edgar because they're teammates. And they both train under Mark Henry, I believe. He's not going to fight Moicano because Moicano's booked. It's a bad night against Aldo. But I keep saying that because of Aldo's leg kicks, but he just doesn't fucking throw them. I have no idea why he doesn't throw leg kicks anymore. I always pick Aldo as a factor because of leg kicks. I always do. And he just never fucking throws them. And it pisses me off. So maybe Zabit would beat Aldo, I don't know. But I say this is a favourable matchup for Zabit, and he can very well get this done. But I've given you all the reasons why I think Ortega's going to win. And I think he'll get it done. And I'll tell you this. Volkanovski might get shafted here. I mentioned this in my other video. If one of these guys gets a spectacular KO and calls out for the title, Volkanovski might just get left in the dirt. Because they're more relevant. If it was a spectacular finish or an entertaining fight in any way, there's going to be a lot of buzz around their names, and Volkanovski might just get ignored for a few more months. That's the way the fight game works. We shall see. What Volkanovski is hoping for here is that Holloway beats Edgar, which I think is going to happen with relative ease, and that Ortega beats Zabit, because they're not going to do Ortega versus Holloway, so that's what Volkanovski wants. But hey, if Zabit goes in there and wheel kicks Ortega and knocks him out in the 1st round, gets on the mic, Holloway's next. Who's next? Who's next? Sean Shelby, who's next? You know what I mean? Like, they're going to give the fight to Zabit, for sure. But yeah, rough one for Zabit, man. Rough one for Zabit. I think he's going to get figured out, boys. And Ortega's got good leg kicks. That's a big weakness for Zabit. Big weakness. Hard to move around when your lead leg's bum. Like and subscribe. Well, thanks for watching.